Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to FPL, don't panic. I'm speechless. I literally am speechless. Craziest couple of days of football, and it wasn't all FPL the last few days. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Man United, dear Lord, what did I watch the other day? That was crazy. 5-4, 3 goals. But did anyone watch that match? Just watch it for the sheer insanity of it. It's an unusual emotion, but I was both elated and disgusted at the same time with my team. It's a very, very unusual emotion. FPL, what an insane game we play. What an absolutely mental game. I'm not kidding myself. This is still going to come crashing down. The chicken will find a way to roost at the end of that line and come home to roost at some point over this game week. It is inevitable, but I am just going to hope for the time being. But it's the hope that kills. But the same way as it does with Man United for making the Europa League and that we might actually make the Champions League. It's the hope that kills you in the end. Who said that line, by the way? It's said by Ted Lasso said it, but I think it was it might have been John Cleese, was it, in 40 Towers many years back? I'd have a look back on that one. But yeah, it really is. It's the hope. Like, oh my God, I might get away with this. I don't think there's any way I can, but you know what? Just for this little moment in time, going to enjoy it. Somehow find myself with about a 50k rank rise. No chips, only 5 doublers. Heroes in that team. All right, let's get rid of Ted Lasso. That was a great series, by the way. If no one's watched it, I really do highly recommend it. I thought it was going to be a load of old toss, but it was genuinely brilliant. Right, but for now, had him over Ted. Let's just have a quick look. I'm going to keep this one brief, so I'll do a proper team review later. But yeah, I mean that was utterly ridiculous. Just make a quick comment on it because I just want to touch base on because I really have to start thinking about the team for the blank. As I say, this is just giving me a little bit of hope, I guess, where I am at the moment. That it might not be. It still could be. It still could be a long way back by the end of this game week. Yeah, up to 38,526. Full house of clean sheets at the moment. Henderson, thank you very much. I was bagging you last week, but today you're my hero. Munoz was bagging you last week. You're -1, but I did say, to be fair, I had a feeling that Crystal Palace will dig in. Just pride will kick in, and going down to 10 men, I thought again, just a mental game, isn't it? Absolutely insane. Going down to 10 men, I thought, oh, that's that then. And hanging on for a 0-0 draw. I mean, it couldn't have been a better result for me, to be honest with you. So I don't have an Eze or a Sar. I deliberately, when I first put this together, long before when Crystal Palace were keeping clean sheets, one of the reasons when I did my wild card was because I actually felt more confident in these fixtures of picking up some points from the defence as opposed to going heavy on the midfield and the attack. And I know I've got obviously the much maligned. I feel actually a bit sorry for the lad at the moment, Mateta. But I went with the double defence, and it hasn't paid off, I think, overall. But at least there's a little bit of payback there now with Henderson and Munoz both coming in with a clean sheet. And I say everyone's got Mateta anyway, so there was going to be probably not a lot of upside and not a lot of downside with him not scoring. So yeah, I guess that's okay. And it's still another fixture to come. Who the hell knows what might happen? I mean, the way this game is going, anything can happen. It's the hope. The hope is killing me again. The hope. Canate still to come. I mean, listen, this is where I'm going to drop back. What have I got left out of that lot? So Bowen, absolutely fantastic. And again, to be honest with you, the 1-1 draw, him getting the goal, and then it finishing 1-1. That goal from Southampton, I think, knocked out quite a lot of bench boosters with Areola. Everywhere I look, I see everyone seems to have Areola as their first up goalkeepers, so they'll be crying into their collective cornflakes this morning. But I think that will have helped me a lot. The undoubted hero, Brian Mbumo. And as I said, You know, brought them in because I knew I'd be playing through this without chips. So it was one of the reasons for having Bowen and Mbumo in there in the first place. Was they looked as though they were in decent form, but they've also got, I think they just become really, really desirable assets. Maybe not so much for 34, but I wouldn't count them out of getting returns. But after that, the fixtures are very, very good. And I think there's even a potential doubler in there for West Ham, potential, not one of the most likely ones. And Brentford as well, I think, maybe. Potential. That's the story once we get this, probably more the blank out of the way and I see how this shapes up. But I've got a lot of potential doublers in the team, and it's getting that balance right going forward. We'll talk about that when we just have a look at the lineup as it is for blank 34, which is looking pretty decent. Salah still to come. Yeah, I mean, I hope he holds big, and so I hit well over 70-point average. That'd be fantastic. I have the vice captaincy on him. Clearly regretting that now. Not keeping it on him unless Mateta pulls off some miracle against Arsenal. Barnes, I had to make a choice between Barnes or Murphy for the bench. I guessed right, and it was a guess. It was purely a guess. I just didn't think Barnes could be dropped in the current form he was in, or taken off early, because he's been looking so good. And it's not that Murphy hasn't. Don't get me wrong, Murphy's been looking fantastic as well. It just felt the more likely one to get nearly the full game. Just the assist, but what a beautiful cross that was. And then Newcastle proceeded to fall apart and knock a whole bunch of more points off bench boosters that had the likes of Livramento, Trippier on the bench for a bench boost. Seriously, the luck is with me at the moment. It can't continue. And then absolutely nothing up front. If someone had told me that I would be here at this point in time at 38,000 at the end of this sort of first round of the games, and none of my strikers had returned, I would have said, "You're having a laugh. You're having a laugh, and yeah, you're having a laugh." So yeah, I mean that's totally ridiculous. 38,526, 66,000 in the world at the moment. I think this is where the story ends, and that little chicken will be trying to get up on that roost at some point. I mean, just the harsh reality of it. You know, I've got 5 doublers. Salah's not going to give me a lot. So in the next, you know, all I've got left now is Salah. Who else have I got? And Konate. You know, so you know, I think there's a decent chance of someone out of Konate. A little bit of a differential, I think. You never know. You might get a go. As I say, the way things are going, you just never know. Fixtures that are left. Let's have a look here. Fulham Chelsea, can't imagine there'd be too much high ownership in there for this one. Potentially some bench players, I guess maybe Chelsea. Could be a Palmer on the bench, I guess, on the bench boost for some people if they haven't sold him yet. And I'm sure a few people have kept him, but I don't think there'll be too much high ownership in there to hurt me. Ipswich Arsenal is the one that's clearly going to hurt. You know, if you know, it's going to be Raya, Saka, and probably Kiwi or Saliba. You know, so a clean sheet there and a couple of goals from Saka. That's clearly not gonna knock the wind out of my sails. But hey, you know, Ipswich with a 1-0 win. You never know. United Wolves. I'm having a little bit of regret. I did seriously think about bringing Cunha in, and Cunha is very much on my watch list. United are going to be going out there with a team of kids against Wolves, and United could be one to target. If you're sort of looking at your own transfers, they really could be one to target while this Europa League run is still going on. So that will be one that I will be having a look at. I think Bournemouth might be in there. And Bournemouth again will have desirable assets, as in you know, some decent fixtures, potential doubler in 36, but also, yeah, stage United. I think Bournemouth have got United in there, and yeah, the Nielsen and the rest of them, they could really rip United a new one if they're going out with a bunch of kids, which does look very, very likely. Sad to say, but I absolutely support it as a decision from the manager, but I can see a few hidings in our future. And Leicester Liverpool, I don't think, again, I think maybe there might be one or two Liverpool assets around, but I think I've got a decent, well, I've Salah, obviously, but I think most people will have Salah, but that'll be about it. So I'm protected there. So you never know, Canati might get me some sort of a miracle haul. I live in hope. Spurs Forest, don't think there'll be too many will have Spurs Forest, given that, that this is the double weekend. And then we move into the doubles. And I'm not going to have a lot there. I'll have a couple of City lads against Villa, but they're pretty highly owned, so I'm not going to get much benefit there. And then I'm going to have my three Palace guys against Arsenal. So this is going to go downhill. But you have to forgive me if I just enjoy this little moment for a moment and just do a little bit just for the record, because I said I'll go back to it. What this has given me. I mean, I said in the last video, I knew I was going to fall. I thought it could be down to 250, 300k. Maybe this just, if I can come through this double, maybe, even 20 or 30 points outside that top 100k, then I actually do have hope, because then I can, have a few transfers up my sleeve, and I can plan for these last 5 games, whatever it is, 33, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, last 5 games, and I'm in touch. Whereas if this had gone really, really badly, and it still could. It still could. As basically, I've got to have my few players going out against the whole team. But the way it's going, and looking at the average score there, with most or a lot of the big doublers gone, and I'll pick up a few more points hopefully. Might just not be as far out as I was anticipating. Only time will tell, but hopefully that chicken will just dangle there for a while and we'll get an opportunity to roost. Maybe we'll do some sort of a thing. We'll move the chicken up and he'll end up roosting on my graph thing there. But yeah, I mean, seriously, bitten your hand off. I'd have freaking shagged your nan to get that score. Seriously, yeah, unreal, crazy game we play, absolute crazy game we play. Right, let's have a wee look at what it looks like at the moment for the blank, and it don't look too bad. 9 players, 2 transfers. The question is, do I make those transfers? I'm thinking at this point I will. So I'm just having to bring this up on a larger screen here. Alright, I really should get some glasses, shouldn't I? I really should. Right, let's go through. Okay. Jose Sa, yeah, that's fine. Leicester home. Munoz may leave, but I have to also consider that Munoz could have a double in 36. But I'm not sure I want to be tripled up on Palace anyways. So it feels, because my other option, I guess, would be to, if I do some transfers, I've got 9. I've got a good 9 going out. The way my luck is going, there's half of me thinks just go with the 9 and get the third transfer and wait to see what comes out after blank 34 and after the cup matches. I think I should make at least one transfer to get myself at least close to 11. But who would I remove? I'd probably, if I only went with 10, I'd probably just leave Munoz in there for now. I mean actually, and that's probably what would happen. You know what I'd probably do is I just get that Gabriel problem on the bench out of the way and bring in maybe a Kirkes or something like that. Now, none of this is definite, but the teams that I will be targeting to bring players in from are going to be those players that have some really nice fixtures on the back end. And I'll when I do the full review and team for 34, we'll go through that, because I'll actually put the shortlist players, and there will be a lot of Bournemouth assets, Forest assets, probably Wolves. Don't think they're going to be doubling, but they do have some lovely fixtures, and they're on a little bit of a run at the moment. I think they've won 4 games in a row, so it could be a Kun, it could be an 8 Nori. In fact, I think they've got a really tasty fixture coming up in the blank. We'll have a look at that further down the line. But if I did make a transfer, yeah, I think it'd be time just to, Gabriel's been gathering dust for a few weeks on the bench there. I've shown a lot of patience there, which is very unlike me. A lot of you guys already know that. And it's actually worked for me just keeping him there and not doing the Des panic thing and taking a hit and selling him and doing like that, a bit like I did with Saka middle of the season. That actually cost me. Um, just taking my time now, and I'm beating the drum for myself, but trust me, I know I've been very, very lucky. But it'll be time, probably, I think, for 34 to dust Gabriel off and bring in someone like a Kirkes, maybe another Nottingham Forest defender for some of their games, and just double up there if it looks like they're getting their mojo back on defence. So nothing decided there. Milenkovic, Brentford home, fine. Canate, Tottenham home. Yeah, that doesn't worry me. I think Liverpool could be looking to rip Spurs a new one there and wrap up the title in style. Bowen, Brighton away, not the greatest, but as I say, you fancy that West Ham will nick a goal, and if West Ham score, Bowen is usually involved. And Benmo, Forest away, not ideal, but he's looking really, really good. Oh, he could have more than his two goals and assists last night. He's just looking good, and I think Mbumo is fixture proof, so certainly wouldn't write off him getting a return or two. As I said, I know I'm up against the free hitters, but all things considered, I don't think this looks too bad. Yes, Salah, Tottenham home. That'll be the captaincy decision. I'm going to have a little look at Salah in the game this evening, just to see if he's getting a little bit of his mojo back. He's not been cooking. He's not been cooking recently. Um, Depending on where I finish up in the game week, at the end of this game week, that may make some decisions on whether I go with Salah as potentially the safe pick. I don't think a lot of people will be going for Isak, given he's not bubbling either, is he? But it is Ipswich home, and I have the three Newcastle boys there. I do think one of them, Barnes or Murphy, may start from the bench, and Gordon will start the next one. But I'm also reasonably confident that they'll get 2.5 games out of them, and that against Ipswich at St James's Park, Newcastle feeling a little bit stung by that absolute spanking by Villa. I fancy that they're going to come out all guns blazing and blow Ipswich off that park. So ideally, hopefully all three of those start. I don't think they will. I suspect it will be Barnes and Isak, Murphy on the bench, and Murphy will come on maybe for the last 30 for Gordon. It'll be something like that. We'll see if I'm right. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope all three of them start, obviously, because two of those lads going up against Ipswich and Newcastle fired up at St James's Park. I like the sound of that. And then I guess it's would I bring in another player up front? I'm pretty sure I will bring in a defender. I'll move out Gabriel, but I'll have a look at the fixture ticker, etc. But if I brought someone in, I think it probably would be Evan Nielsen or Cunha. But we'll have a look at that later on in the week. Other than that, yeah, seriously. That's absolutely mental, absolutely insane. So I just have to keep my fingers crossed and let hope allow me to sustain me just for a little while until it kills me again. Other than that, I have to own up to an error here. I wanted to do the FPL Don't Panic Bishop Brennan Cup in the next day or so. I've got to take a bloody screenshot of last week's results and league tables. If anyone can remind me who the winner was, I think I'll be able to work it out. But if anyone does know, so I can just backtrack, so I can do the video in the next day or so, that'd be great. Other than that, I'll work it out. I'll just go through. I think I've got an idea. I just have to go through a few teams and see who had the highest score last week. And there were some great scores in there. Whole team finished above the the whole league finished well above the league average. There was one more thing I wanted to say. Listen, I don't often ask this. I don't, and I think you guys that follow me know. I'm at just hit 180 subscribers, and I do this for me, and it's great. The lovely little community built. I'd love to hit 200 before the end of the season. So if you're already subscribed, just to help the old algorithms, and you're watching this, hit a like or make a comment. But if you're not subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. Do us a solid. Do us a solid. And yeah, it'd be lovely to just to hit that 200 mark. As I say, just a few short months ago, I was nattering to myself. So yeah, it'd be nice as a little landmark to hit the 200 subscribers. Uh, Other than that, and in the meantime, hope your game week is going well. Um, Not as well. I don't think too many are going. I'm so lucky, Jesus. Take this one to the bank, Des. But yeah, have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. I'll see you in about 24 to 36 hours time. I don't think I'm going to be smiling quite as much, but I'm just gonna live in the moment. See you soon. Bye bye.